I'm Jennifer from Unveiled Wife, and today we have Katie here with us, and I would love it if, Katie, you could just share with the community a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I am married for 10 years to Jonathan. I have 4-year-old twin girls, Zoe and Grace. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and the other thing that I'm going through a season of right now is chronic illness. I have at least 3. I'm working on with doctors and a neurologist and trying to identify at least number 4. So it's set me back in ways I haven't expected, but I'm looking forward to seeing how God uses them for His glory.
That's beautiful that you have that positive perspective, because I know that for
I try.
Yeah, I know it can be so difficult. And before we jump into specifically chapter 11 of Wife After God, could you share a little bit about that chronic illness that you are dealing with, and maybe give some encouragement for women that are also going through that right now?
Sure. Well, I for sure have an autoimmune hypothyroidism. Hashimoto's probably, but I haven't had the testing for it. I've had that for a couple of years. I have adrenal insufficiency. I have narcolepsy, and I think I might have some kind of dysautonia, which is regulating your body's fluids in the right way, and it affects your energy, it affects dizziness, it affects a whole bunch of things. And it's hard for me because I can't use the gifts that God has given me. I don't have the energy to do a lot of the things that I used to be able to do. I can't do much volunteer work. I can't even pursue, career things or any of that kind of stuff. And I am wondering how God is using me at this time. But I know that part of the reason I'm going through this is so that He can show me how much He loves me. Which is just an amazing thought, that no matter what I can or can't do, even if I'm not able to use my God-given abilities, to be able to feel His love during this time is amazing. It's not always what I want to carry me through the day, but it's what I have to rely on. And it forces me over and over, day in and day out, to go back to the promises that He has in His Word that will carry me through. And I'm fortunate that I've been able to develop friends on Facebook mostly, because that's what I have energy for versus seeing people in person, to connect with and support each other with our chronic illnesses, and just to be able to express God's love to them through our computers, and something where it just takes a few flicks of my fingers to be able to connect with people and share God's love with them. So I'm very thankful for that.
Well, I just appreciate and value your vulnerability in sharing those things with us. And if those who are listening could just take a moment and maybe add some comments in here for Katie, and maybe for each other who are going through chronic illness and limitations. Can you guys just encourage each other right now and maybe just throw some prayers out there? I think that would be really awesome.
That is awesome. Yeah, that would be. I mean, that's what's gotten me through is, the continued encouragement and being able to use my gifts of encouragement to encourage other people out there.
That's beautiful. So, Katie, you actually went through this study, Wife After God, with the online community back in January. And can you just explain a little bit about what that was like and what happened?
So I was reading it on my phone because I have the Kindle version on my phone, and my husband didn't even know that I was doing it. I did write in my journal, but I write prayers in my journal all the time and journaled my answers and things. And it was amazing to me to see the difference that started to occur in him for things that I had been praying for years, really. I mean, months for sure. That were subtle, but there was an obvious attitude change. And I don't think it was just me. I think it was just my being open to God working. And I was shocked that here we were a week into it, and there were some changes that I've been praying for a long time. And it was just really neat. And he didn't know that I was doing this, praying for him or anything. I just thought I would do it and see what happened. And so it was really cool.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
Well, today we're jumping into chapter 11, which happens to be one of my favorite chapters of Wife After God, and it's titled Pure Joy. And at the beginning of the chapter, there's a story of a wife who's also a mother, and she, is just going through a really difficult season in her life. And with the help of her friend, who comes in and kind of rescues her with cupcakes and Bible verses, she just reminds her friend of being able to focus on God and to not lose her joy or her faith in that, hard season of life. Was there something specific that stood out to you in this chapter?
This is my personal favorite chapter too. I both appreciate the times that I have been served as the woman who struggled with the depression when she thought she should be in this happy season of her life. I've struggled with major and chronic depression for many years. I'm thankful to be mostly past that, but a couple weeks ago I was struggling with a spiritual attack that went on for about 5 days, and I had a girlfriend call me. I think she was doing the coolest thing. It was 40 days for Lent. She was taking time each day to thank someone who had made an impact on her life. Instead of giving something up, she was making sure that she gave back, and it happened to be one of the days that I was struggling most that she just picked up the phone and called me. And I know it was a God thing that it happened to be that day that she picked to just say thank you for our friendship and to be able to encourage me. And so I'm thankful for that and for the ways that God uses other women and friends to find those moments to just encourage us through being the hands and feet of Jesus. On the flip side, I love being able to do this for other people. I took a friend who's a single mom who's really sick some groceries this morning, and I had put it off a day or two because of my own energy struggles, but we worked it out. I mean, she didn't need them right then. This morning was fine, and so we made it work where we both were able to do that, and I was able to serve her, and I picked up some of her laundry that I'll be able to do later today to keep her from falling too far into the hole, because I know that feeling. I get there a lot, but by the grace of God, I'm getting better and better, slowly but surely, and so I'm thankful that I can do that for other people too, encourage other moms.
Wow, that's so cool that you can relate to both sides of the story in chapter 11. I think that's really powerful, and adds to a lot of the perspectives that life can challenge us with. Can you describe a specific story or event from your life where community has blessed you in a just phenomenal way that really transformed your life?
Another thing that's been a huge blessing to me is I'm in an online Bible study through Proverbs 31 in a small group. And we're located all over, well, there's even a woman in Australia, but we're all over the United States. And I've made friends with these women, and I consider that my community. And they're the people that I'm able to rely on when I don't have the strength to get out of the house, when I don't have the strength to visit a friend in person. These women have sent me devotion books. They've sent me hundreds and thousands of encouraging words. So I'm so blessed to be able to be friends with these women and to have this online Bible study group that meets my needs where I'm at, that I'm not able to get out of the house, but it doesn't matter. And I can do the same for these other women. So I'm thankful to be a part of that community.
That's so awesome and good to hear. One of my goals with Unveiled Wife is to provide that same atmosphere of being a community where women can feel comfortable sharing with each other. And I'd love to just support some of the other online Christian communities, so I'll link those in the description of this video just so that other women have those resources at hand. So do you have one thing that God's really been teaching you lately, or an encouragement that you would like to share with the wives in our community?
I think that you just need to keep showing up. You have to be open to God working in extremely tough circumstances, whether you're struggling with chronic illness like I am, or you're struggling in a marriage that you wonder if it's going to last. You wonder what God is going to do tomorrow, or how your marriage is going to last for tomorrow, or incredibly stressful circumstances, because we all have them at various times. And like I'm learning through these spiritual attacks to just open your hands to God. Put my hands in the video. So you can just open my hands and be like, okay, God, I am not taking this back. I'm going to rest in your peace and I'm going to let you work. But I'm also going to show up and I'm going to do my very best just to have a positive attitude and to be focused on meditating on your words. Because I think in the background, if we don't do that work on our part, not that God needs it to work, but it opens the doors even wider to him working in our life through extremely difficult circumstances. And if we're open to receiving the gifts that he's going to give us, then our fists aren't closed and we can't catch what he's sending to us. It just slips right out of our hands. So I think that just being open and continuing to press on even when your thoughts overwhelm you, even when your life feels like it's going to overwhelm you, that's where it will be. And to focus on joy, a practice of gratitude is huge. That's hugely helped me to write a couple things down in a journal as I'm able to. I'm shocked when I do this practice how much it changes my attitude, even when I've had a cruddy day, to just write down and focus on the things that I'm thankful for. Ann Voskamp has a great book on it if you're looking for more information, but just focusing on joy, because joy can be there even if happiness isn't, even if you're not in a time of your life where you feel happy or thankful all the time, but having gratitude to God for even the tiniest little things can really open your hands to God in a physical way.
Well, thank you so much, Katie, for just sharing your heart with us today. And I'm going to be praying for you and your husband, and specifically for healing for you, and that God just continues to sustain you. And I just thank you so much for sharing all that you did with us today.
Thank you. I'm honored.
Okay, bye.
Bye.